this is Chris with Monkey Moon Studio, and I wanted to document the progress I'm making on preparing for the arrival of my RM1390 that I've had on order for a little while now. And part of the prep work is getting an exhaust hookup and also tapping into my existing air supply line. So right behind me up here is I've already kind of done the work for the most part, and I'm kind of catching up here, showing some video progress of what I've done. But above me there is a 6-inch dryer vent essentially that I've cut a hole in the wall and installed that guy. And then also wanted to show what I have done relative to my existing air supply line that I already had in the shop when I first moved in here, but I had to tap in to add another port to dedicate right to the laser. So there's my existing air compressor, and I got kind of the idea from this from some of the website years ago, running copper lines up along, and then over here I've got a drop already for just everyday use. What's cool about this is you've got some valves and stuff to help turn off when you don't need it, or you want to do some maintenance on it. So it's not just you don't have to shut down the compressor and stuff. You can just that's on, that's off, away you go. And then I've got it plumbed into a filter setup here. One is a, oh gosh, can't read it, air filter on this side, mist separator over here, and of course just a simple gauge. And what they have you do is you run a line long, right? And then you've also got over here, I've just got a dump to where you can, if there's any condensation, you can just dump that right there. So then up above here, you come up and back and down again. So that's what I've done over here for the dedicated port for the laser. Here I've just tapped into this, done the same thing that I had done before, come up and over and down. It's 1/2-inch copper, and then down to a new set of valves. So there is where I'm going to tap in. I have a new set of filters and stuff on order. They're supposed to be here, so I don't have them yet to plumb in, but it's the same idea, same setup, and just some simple 2x4s for bracing or whatever. And there we go. Just want to document what's going on. And then of course for the vent, right up here is where I've got that, just a 6-inch vent, and I'm going to drop that straight down here. I'm just dedicating this area for the laser itself. I'll go around outside and just show the vent hood itself. So there's a vent hood, again for a 6-inch duct. Most residential dryer vents are going to be a 4-inch, so you need to make sure it's a 6-inch for your laser, at least for the size of laser I'm using. I'm not sure if they vary in size, but this one is a 6-inch. Hey, just wanted to show that I had received the filter kit and went ahead and installed that and got it all plumbed in, ready to go. So all I had to do was add in a couple of T's, a couple of sections, a union, and then there's the filter unit. I did want to talk about the why of a filter unit. So why do you need a filter at all? Isn't it good enough just to use air right out of the air compressor? Well, it could be. I'll say that before I moved here, I'm in North Carolina. I lived in the wet side of Washington State, and I had a very similar setup. And I ended up getting buckets of water out of my air compressor, a shocking amount. And I thought, well, sure, as I moved to the south where it's even more humid parts of the year, that I would certainly need it. But I'll say, so far, I haven't had a drop of moisture come out of this system. So your mileage may vary depending on where you live. You live in Arizona, you may not need it at all. Now, I still would advocate a filter. Now this here has what they call a mist separator and a filter, plus a gauge. You can get by with less. Maybe I'm overkilling it, overthinking it, but I figure if I'm spending several $1,000s in this unit, you know, feed it as good as I can, keep it alive as long as I can. So, you know, it's the old, an ounce of cure is worth an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Holy moly, I can't even talk. There you go, Chris, Monkey Moon Studio signing off. And here it is all installed. Last thing I added was a 1/2 NPT to 1/4 NPT, quick connect fitting, and then just a flex hose. And that should do it. Hey, this is Chris with Monkey Moon Studio. Just going over some more of the install of the components for the laser cutter. Laser cutter is now here. Got it off the pallet, and now we're gonna be making a little bracket and stuff to install the exhaust air. So that'll be what we're gonna do next. Okay, so we got that done, and the whole point of that was to mount the fan that came with the laser cutter, which is the exhaust fan, to extract the smoke and such during cutting. You know, very rudimentary, nothing fancy going on here. I just used some stuff that I already had. I wanted it, you know, fairly substantial, so I had a piece of 2x12 from some old project that I had used, a piece of 2x4, another piece of 2x6, and a 2x4 for the riser there, and just kind of threw that together based on the height I need after I had plumbed in the tube, and I'll go ahead and show you what I've done over there. So here I have come off with a 2-foot extension from the elbow, and then this blue tube right here was provided by rmlaser as part of their kit. And so the reason for this bracket is just to match up with the height difference that I've got there, and then I'll go ahead and connect that, and then there's another gray hose that connects from the inlet right there to the machine. Okay, so I've got the vertical hose hooked up, and just want to talk a little bit about why I made it like I did. Right now I kind of want it portable, just so that I can move this around if I need to, because one of the things about this laser, and a lot of lasers of this size, is that, you know, you can put larger material than the bed can hold. So like in this case, the bed is like 51 inches wide, but with this door right here, you can take that door down and then you can pass larger material through. And so until I really kind of get a good sense of the material I'm going to use a lot, I want to have the flexibility to move, you know, maybe move this in and out, because it's, you know, right now it's on casters, you know, it moves, even though it's 1,000 pounds, this thing moves real easy. But what you want to do once you get it set up is to go ahead and lower these leveling feet out. And I've already checked it, and you know, since this is on concrete, it's already really nice and level. You can see it's, you know, right there. I mean, we're right on bubble here, both, you know, fore and aft. Already checked that, and so we're in pretty good shape there. But you know, I'm sure that, you know, as this thing moves and does its thing, you want to have it pretty stable. But until I get a good sense of how I'm going to use this, I want to have the flexibility to go ahead and move this around just a little bit. You know, and maybe at a later date, I'll go ahead and maybe do hard piping all the way up. You know, like just, you know, extending this all the way down with a rigid 6-inch. But for now, I'm going to leave it flexible.